Hey, it's Real Talk Friday, and baby, it's cold outside. I want to start with kind of a funny story that happened recently, and other person involved saw the story differently, but this is how I saw it through my eyes. I was preaching in Dallas 2 weekends ago, and I asked Mr. Reggie Finch to be my amen guy. And if you've ever preached before, it helps a lot when you have someone that will periodically say something like amen or that's right, brother, and preach it. Just kind of helps you get into it a little bit, kind of like a little fan club, even if you're boxing. And Jody Christensen was there, Gina Lewis, Daryl Dodd came that morning. And when Reggie showed up, I'll be honest, I forgot I asked Reggie to be my amen guy. And so as the sermons kind of go, I could hear, Reggie would go, amen. And I was like, man, Reggie really is digging the sermon. But between the amens, he would go to sleep. He would fall asleep. And so I'd be looking out there, and he would nod off. I mean, he looked like this, and then he would raise his head long enough to go, amen. And then he'd go right back to sleep. And so he won't say that it went like that, but that's how I saw it through my eyes. And so something you had to be there. And but that's funny, but I want to talk about something serious as far as how you see things through your eyes, and how someone not in your shoes and has never been in your shoes, they can't see it like that. That's why I started with that little story. But Romans 12:15, let me say, the Bible doesn't really use the word empathy or empathize, but in Romans 12:15, it does say this. Says this: rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn. And so we're talking about that specifically, is that you can personally share your own experience and feel that as you're watching someone else go through it. And so that's what's talking about. I want to talk about a couple people that a lot of you know, most of you know, and so this is very personal, and I'm gonna share some stuff a lot of people have never known, and I got permission from the other person to share this part of their story and testimony, because it's not easy to go through again what we've gone through. And myself, back in 2008 when I hit rock bottom, and it was during winter time, and man, it was cold outside, and I was at a halfway house, and a guy named Billy came up missing. And so I went in search. I went looking for him, and someone said he was out the Salvation Army. And so I went in and I said, is he here? And then the guy said, no, but there's a guy by that name that's sleeping between those dumpsters out there. And so I go out there, and I'm like, Billy, are you there? I mean, it was very dark, and all of a sudden I heard this, like, Coach, is that you? He always called me Coach. And so I go over there, and he had the snot beat out of him. And I picked up a pizza, and I was going to give it to Billy. I mean, if I could even find him. And so, but I promised I wouldn't leave him. I promised I would stay there with him, because, he was not in great shape. And so, as cold as it was, I sat between those two dumpsters, and I ate that pizza with Billy. And prayed with him and encouraged him, and really had nothing on more than what I'm wearing tonight. And so when I think about the cold and us about to do this event for the sleeping bag outreach, that is why I mourn when they mourn, meaning that my heart breaks for them. And the other person I'm going to talk about is Reggie Finch. And some of his experiences. This happened in 2010 when Reggie hit rock bottom. But Reggie was really struggling, and it was February/March, and Reggie found himself homeless. He had nowhere to go, and he was afraid even hypothermia was going to set in, and so he couldn't stop. I mean, he was out probably looking for dope. And so Reggie jogged 10 miles just to stay warm, and he was trying to get to a storage that he had just to kind of get a little bit of shelter. Reggie Finch ended up sleeping in Portalette that night, and he wrapped himself in toilet paper, trying to stay warm. I mean, what I'm telling you is true. Reggie was also eating out of the dumpsters, and we share with the kids sometimes that Reggie says, hey, the best dumpster to find is the one from Olive Garden, because the breadsticks stay pretty decent for several days. And Reggie said he would go to like a 7-Eleven and they would allow him to come in. They would give him some coffee. He would go in the bathroom for like 20 minutes just to warm up. And then he had to go back out and he would go back to the portalette. And again, if you've never been through that, it's hard for you to connect with the homeless that we're trying to help. And that's why a lot of times you'll find people like us that are being the hands and feet of Jesus, because, man, we've been there. Have you ever been homeless? I mean, had to sleep in your car, sleep outside because you had nowhere to go? You had no family, you had no coat, nothing? Because if you've not been down that road, it's hard for you to see what we see. You see it, but you don't really see it with your heart. Can you imagine the great Reggie Finch, University of Oklahoma Heisman hopeful, wrapping himself up in toilet paper, trying to stay warm in a portalette eating out of the dumpsters? I get it. I get that. I want you to understand these aren't things that we're proud of, but it is part of our testimony that God's delivered us from. And there's a lot more of it with stories. But we're asking. We're trying to get 500 sleeping bags, okay? New, which you can get them for $10 at the Academy. Or even used, not with holes in it, but used. And here's the deal, man. We're not going to ship them out there. We're going to take them out there. That's what's different. And we want you to come on February 6th and help us. We're asking you to come on February 6th, help us deliver these sleeping bags to the homeless population. It's an experience everyone needs to experience. I'm asking for your help. We have 6,000 followers almost on our Facebook page. And I'm not real great at math, but I believe if 500 people gave one sleeping bag, I think that's 500 sleeping bags. Please don't ignore this message. Please. This weekend, pick up one. If you know anyone a part of Rock Bottom Outreach, if you contact them, I know that they'll come pick it up. Contact myself, Brenda Kirk, Ron Pyle, Daryl Dodd, Jody Christensen, Carla Hennigan, Brad. The list goes on and on. But we'd be more than happy to pick this up. It just takes one sleeping bag to help one person on a cold winter night. It's Rick with Rock Bottom Outreach. It's been Real Talk Friday. Have a great day.